All right, guys, so with tariffs being 140% or whatever, everybody loves to save money, and I'm about as cheap as it gets. Like, I'm kid you not, it squeaks when I walk. That's how bad it is, contrary to popular belief from everybody else. But I'm gonna show you how to build a set of Frankenstein QA1 BC Racing white label coils, not for a Goblin, but for any car. Coilovers or coilovers, custom coilovers, for your drift car, drag car, T-car, scooter, whatever you drive. If it fits custom coilovers, you're gonna know how to build a set when we're done. And you know what's even funnier is this is two competing brands from two competing manufacturers that somehow fit together. Just blows my mind. And you know what, Goblin guys, this is gonna save you like 250 bucks if you know how to do this. So do your thing, thumbs up, thumbs down, like, whatever, subscribe, doesn't matter. All right, so before we go bonkers building coils, installing coils on the Goblin here, I went ahead and, if you remember, these are your uprights from the Chevy Cobalt that we pulled off. I went ahead and ceramic coated them, so give them a little bit of a nice little sheen there. Don't stop any of the oxidation of the aluminum. It's not super pretty, but they'll look good when you rinse them off. So we need to install our new hubs, remove the speed sensors that were originally designed for the Cobalt. These are new ones, but here's your chance to make it a little easier to not come off. So there's no torque spec for these here. Just make sure it's nice and tight. All right. Fresh, clean uprights, and we got ourselves, well, new hub. Let's set that aside and start building some coils. So there's a few options that we could have gone with the Goblin. We could have actually used, I like how we have the T-bucket in the background, not the Goblin. The T-bucket's broken down right now. So, but we could have used the stock struts from the Chevy Cobalt, or you can upgrade to essentially BC coils. Now, BC coils, there's a lot to be said about them. They're one of those companies that designs in the USA, sells in the USA, but they're not made in the USA. They kind of have a little bit of a fake image. They're a white label company. They're a pretty good brand recognition in the drifting community, but it's I guess their production is a falsehood. It's not real at all. But it's really the only choice that we have versus using stock struts. All right, so I'm not saying that BC is a bad white label brand. It's actually one of the best, and they're pretty good, pretty solid built product here, but they have zero customer service. So pretty much once you buy from them, you're kind of screwed. So really what you can do is you can go to them and they can build this custom set for you. I'll put everything in the description for the Goblin guys, but essentially I'm gonna show you all the parts that you actually need. Save you kind of a couple $100. What we are changing up is instead of using their shocks, well, their spring, we're gonna go with a QA1 brand. So two competing companies, look at that. Made in the USA, so at least keep some domestic product on there. They don't really offer, again, a turnkey product for the Goblin, but figured we just kind of build one here. So this is our actual mount bracket right here. This is actually Chevy Cobalt specific here. Is this one made in the USA? Doesn't say. Probably Taiwan. So we're gonna take a little bit of, well, you can actually be pretty liberal with this. We're gonna take anti-seize right on the inside here. And then we can adjust it once we actually get it on the car here. All right, so then more anti-seize. And this is a bottom lock ring. So the part that we just installed there, this will keep that from actually spinning out and lock that in place. And we can adjust that just a tad later. I'm just going to run this all the way to the bottom. And you can see on the ring here how it's actually beveled, and that'll lock right in down there. I guess you could say maybe chamfered, beveled, angled. I don't even know what it is. You guys get the idea though? So next, we need another bottom locking ring. Same thing with this, a little bit of the anti-seize. Come on. All right. Now you could put more anti-seize on here. I mean, we already have some on the threads, but guess what? Doesn't cost you anything. And it'll save you a couple years from now if you ever got to take this SOB apart. Now, all the stuff we're putting on here, this is all BC stuff right now. Once we start getting towards the top, we're going to switch to QA1 machine parts. Crazy, right? 2 different brands, 2 different sides of the country, and all their parts go together. Imagine that. So we got a dampener here we're going to slap on. Now, you could do a boot if you want. You don't have to do one. I'm going to clean that up. I don't know why they sent white. It's kind of dumb. Picture shows yellow. And then the boot picture, they only sent me one, even though the picture shows 2. I'd recommend using the boot just to protect it. And then now, QA1 coil, look at that. Happy about that, made in the USA. Probably the only thing they actually make that's made in the USA. So it's a 9HT 300, being 300 the spring rate, and then 9 being 9 inches. HT being who knows, didn't look at it. All right, so that's gonna slide just like that. QA1 components on a BC coil. It's gonna slide on just like that. And then what you can do is once that's all fixed and situated, you're gonna have to tighten it up once it actually gets installed. You got your dampener that's gonna go right on top. You don't wanna put it in just yet. All right, so now that our shocks are all assembled, let's add a little bit of grease on the tip here. We're gonna slide our upright in. Weather's actually getting hot outside finally. Get that slid in there. There we go. And that'll slide right on. So on this side I opted to use a new CV axle. There was nothing wrong with the other one, especially on the short shaft. It's a little bit more difficult. Well, this bolt is a little difficult to swap out the other side. So went with a brand new one on this one. Plus this boot over here was all torn up. We'll double check the torque on this one. All right, now we can slap the coilover on, and we'll tighten up these brackets as well here. And this is gonna go right in there. Now it's a little loose right now, but we'll fix that. I'm gonna do washer, lock washer, and I think it was like an M12 1 1/4. So I'll double check that and put that up as well for you. Now down low, we're gonna use some of the original Chevy Cobalt bolts here. I thought about upgrading these, but then when I saw that they were actually truly knurled bolts, grade 8s, I didn't really want to touch it and risk it. But, I mean, you can rebuy that hardware, but it's a lot of money. A lot of money. And getting this lined up is just a little funky. And if you got a lot of powder coat, like I do, you may need to actually chase it. Get my foot under there. That'll fit right in there. And this will slap in here. I'm missing a nut. I have no idea what happened to it, so I'm gonna have to try to locate it so we can get this done correctly. So we're gonna go ahead and run this up. Make sure we got our little orientations correct here. So remember, we got two rings here. You have a locking retainer, and you have the actual adjustable one. So we can go ahead and send that up. Give it a little tap on that one. Get that one set. Get our dampener adjuster in there. And that way we can do on-the-fly adjustments just like that. So we'll go ahead and set that right there. We'll tighten that up too in a little bit. Now because we're using Pontiac Solstice brakes on the rear, now remember, this is the front. This was originally the front on the Cobalt. We had Brembo brakes on this thing, and the Brembos are just, they're way too big to be using on the back end, especially when the back end doesn't provide majority of the braking power here. So we have to use a reducer, and that's pretty much how that reducer goes on. There's not a lot of information on that adapter there. It took me a little bit. I know it looks very, very simple, but it took me a little bit of kind of manipulating some things to kind of figure out how those went together there. All right, guys, so there you have it. Mounted, on, ready to roll. Take a look at how pretty that looks there. Wild, right? Two competing manufacturers, two competing brands, apparently from two parts of the world, and they magically fit together. So if you don't know what white label is, these are prime examples of a white label product being charged a premium gold price. Holy crap. So you made it to the end of the video. And you know what? A lot of people don't actually make it to the end of a YouTube video, considering that we live in the doom scrolling boom, boom, boom generation. So thanks for supporting the channel, watching the video through. I'd appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. Again, it just tickles the algorithm and it puts that video out there, which helps me. So if you guys enjoyed the content, again, there's plenty more of it. Go ahead and troll the channel, find something that fits your liking, everything from whatever this thing is. I don't even know what classification car this thing is, to our T-bucket, to, well, we got a charger. We did pick up a V8 charger that actually needs some work. So, yes, the infamous members only section as well. Did I mention that we actually have one on the channel? And I never push it. I never ever push it because I don't believe in paywall material. But if you want to support the channel, it's much appreciated. I think it's like $1, $2, $3, $5. Supports my drinking habits, which I don't have one. I'm trying to start one. I'm just kidding. But essentially it supports some of our projects here, little stuff that we got going to help keep the channel going. Again, this is all funded out of pocket here on most of this stuff here. So we're not out there begging for money like they do on Rumble and some of those other pages that push, you know, that weird content there. So again, appreciate you supporting the channel. And as always, I'm Charles. I'll see you around.